Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg, both in their 2020 presidential campaigns. Master P and Romeo talk generational wealth, and Judge Judy ends her show after 25 seasons. Today on The Diamond K Show. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. Episode 405 of the program. And we are here at Radio on Fire reporting for the nation. Of course, I go by the name of Diamond K. Thank you for joining me. Radio on Fire provides the best in breaking news, entertainment, and political stories that matter to you from an independent point of view. What a difference a week makes. The presidential campaign, the presidential race from the Democratic point of view has really contracted in this 7-day period. Senator Amy Klobuchar is ending her presidential bid, and she plans on endorsing Joe Biden. Ms. Klobuchar made this decision just hours before Super Tuesday. However, she saw the writing on the walls. Going back, she shocked the primary field with a third-place finish in New Hampshire, but when it was all said and done, she could not compete with the money of her better-funded rivals. Klobuchar's campaign confirmed that she is flying to Dallas to join Joe Biden at his rally, where she will suspend her campaign and give an endorsement on the eve of Super Tuesday, bowing the knee. Aside from New Hampshire, Klobuchar struggled deeply, lagging behind competitors in South Carolina, obviously, where she was in single digits, Nevada, and Iowa. She did get a much-needed, bag, $12 million, just over a week, but that was too little, too late. Her campaign just could not compete with the big money being raised by some of the other politicians. Constantly, Klobuchar's campaign was rescheduling events, often releasing, this notice less than 24 hours before the event was supposed to take place. One Get Out the Caucus rally in Nevada, it was less than 100 people there. And then, just a week or so before, Pete Buttigieg had pulled in 1,200 at the same location. One thing I think that really hurt her last night, Klobuchar forced to cancel a rally at her own, in her stomping grounds. Black Lives Matter and other pro-black civil rights groups took to the stage and, just really protested and forced her to cancel. It was going to be ugly. This was in Minnesota, calling into attention the case of Myron Burrell. And that is a black guy who was convicted of murdering someone as a teenager, while Klobuchar was the prosecutor. And, there's so many flaws within her campaign. Recent reports raised questions about that case. And just, if it's not her campaign, if it's not her record, if it's not her inability to raise money, it was something else. So Klobuchar has not apologized for the prosecution, but she has said that the case should be reviewed, and that was going to hurt her. Going forward, that was something that they were really going to really drill her with. I'm surprised that it did not come up heavily on the debate stage, but everybody that's on that stage had their own issues. Klobuchar is, it's funny like that because she's a prosecutor, and nobody likes prosecutors, right? Prosecutors are, they're definitely not as beloved as defense attorneys. Klobuchar hoping to get some type of a place in the Biden campaign. I hope that she's not thinking she's going to be his VP pick, because what does she bring to the table? I don't even think she could have brought Minnesota to the table. And if she didn't get out now, it would have been pointless for her to think that she would be any help to anybody at this point. But she is very lucky that she got out when she did. Very lucky she got out when she did. Also, jumping out of the race, Pete Buttigieg ended his historic campaign talking about unity. He has not endorsed anyone. But if you look at a year ago, he was unknown. He rose from relative obscurity as an Indiana mayor into a barrier-breaking top-tier candidate in the Democratic Party and ended his campaign last night. The decision by the first openly gay candidate to be in serious contention for the presidency and the youngest ever came just a day after his leading rival, Joe Biden, had a dominant victory in South Carolina. That sparked new pressure on the moderates in the party, i.e. Klobuchar, i.e. Pete Buttigieg, to coalesce and get behind former Vice President Joe Biden. And when you talk about momentum, and I've been critical of momentum as it relates to this race, is what people do in South Carolina going to reflect what people do in other places? Yes and no. So the momentum from Biden and his dominant victory in South Carolina, it had a major impact on what these other moderate candidates did. They saw that when the field was more diverse, they were going to have trouble. As I said about Klobuchar, she was not going to win Minnesota. She wasn't. And you look at Pete Buttigieg, as the electorate got more diverse, African Americans, Asians, Spanish-speaking people, these candidates were seriously going to be in a deficit. So they saw the writing on the walls finally, some of them late. I think that a lot of these people should have gotten out a little bit sooner. Pete Buttigieg did not endorse any of his former rivals, though he and Biden left some voicemails for each other yesterday. Buttigieg has spent the past several weeks warning against the nomination of Bernie Sanders and saying that Bernie versus Trump would be risky. So I think it's fair to say that Buttigieg will not be endorsing the Sanders campaign. I don't think that the Sanders campaign want his endorsement anyway. Very interesting seeing where things go. Of course, Super Tuesday is a day that is going to really tell the tale. I'm glad that Buttigieg, Steyer, and Klobuchar all got out of the race before Super Tuesday. And it is really getting down to it. Elizabeth Warren, you are on the clock, young lady. And so I'm expecting Elizabeth Warren to be out of this by Wednesday. And I don't know what she's thinking. She needs to get out of this, and she's going to support Bernie, obviously. Just get behind Bernie. Elizabeth Warren, don't take this to a contested convention or anything like that. Elizabeth Warren had quote-unquote momentum. This is why the negative side of momentum. She had momentum early in the campaign, but lost that in the fall and never regained it, and she will not regain it. So it's time for her to go. Bloomberg, I think that it's still out for Bloomberg. I'm not quite sure. We're going to really have to see what happens on Super Tuesday. That's going to tell the tale. But if he does not have a good showing on Super Tuesday, which is where he's really based, his whole strategy is based on Super Tuesday, he's going to need to drop out this week if he has a bad showing and get behind Bernie Sanders. Get behind Joe Biden. And that is, but everything depends on what happens on tomorrow. So we're going to see about that. Listen to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. Stay tuned. We're going to be back after this. Now more than ever, it's important where and who you get your news from.
Radio on Fire brings information and entertainment to urban America. Whether it's news, sports, entertainment, or relationships, Radio on Fire has the urban experience covered from all angles. Visit radioonfire.com, download the Radio on Fire app, and follow us on social media at Radio on Fire.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, Radio on Fire. Of course, the Diamond K Show. And overnight, North Korea, Kim Jong-un, they launched an unidentified projectile, South Korea says, also known as a missile. The military launched 2 of these, and they were launched towards the East Sea from North Korea's Wonsan region. Our military is monitoring the situation in case of additional launches and maintaining a readiness posture. This is coming from the Joint Chiefs of Staff for South Korea. And the incident is the latest development since the dictator Kim Jong-un vowed a new strategic weapon earlier this year. In recent days, Kim Jong-un has threatened that there will be serious consequences if the coronavirus spreads to his country. It is unclear whether this is related to the global outbreak. I mean, so let me get this straight. You're going to threaten everybody else if the coronavirus comes to North Korea. Very interesting. I guess that's what life of a dictator. That's what that's like. The former bestie of President Trump, Kim Jong-un. Interesting. Also, police in Baltimore charging a 19-year-old male with murder. And for those of you that are not surprised to hear a headline like this, I mean, it is what it is. Baltimore police have reported that the 19-year-old, his name is Singleton Blake Dumpings, arrested for the murder of 26-year-old Graham Blake. This was February the 29th that this happened. Blake Dumpings was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, and he is at Central Booking in downtown Baltimore waiting to see the commissioner. So, of course, he is presumed innocent unless proven guilty. So, yeah. Now, Judge Judy, the famous court judge, TV judge, is going to end the Judge Judy show after 25 seasons. My goodness. It's been that long? 25 seasons? I always enjoyed Judge Judy's program. Now, after the 25 seasons, this show is coming to an end, but she's saying that she's not leaving the bench anytime soon. Judge Judy is a very acute and astute business person, and she was on Monday's episode of the Ellen DeGeneres show and confirmed that the 2020-2021 season will be the last for the Judge Judy show. And she also said that CBS, which distributes the show, will utilize reruns of the show after the last season of Judge Judy airs. And she says, but I'm not tired, so Judy Justice will be coming out a year later. And she did not confirm which network was getting Judy Justice. Judge Judy, you'll be able to see next year, a full year, all new shows, she said. The following couple of years, you should be able to catch all the reruns that CBS has sold to stations that are currently carrying Judge Judy. And Judy Justice will be going elsewhere. Isn't that fun? She said. So just for people to know, she is the highest paid television personality. She earns $47 million per year. In 2017, she signed a deal with CBS for the entire library of Judge Judy for nearly $100 million. Her show is the most watched court show with an average of 9 million viewers per day. Judge Judy is killing. So you can say what you want to say about her attitude, which I have no problem with. I actually like Judge Judy and her program, but so she's gonna be around for quite some time. You listen to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. Make sure you hit me up on social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at the Diamond K Show. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with more of the program after this.
Do you have a business, product, or event that you need to promote to men and women ages 23 to 44? If so, Radio on Fire can help you do it with one of our promo packages. Our broadcasts reach over 150,000 people per month. Sponsorship for one or all of our radio programs can include live mentions, social media posting, commercials, and more. Visit radioonfire.com/advertise to find out more about a promo package that fits your needs. Rates start as low as $50. If you want to reach men and women ages 23 to 44, log on now, radioonfire.com.
So if you want a real meal, that's delicious. I know about noodles. I grew up on noodles. Now I created my own brand. It's nothing like this. See this? The Icon brand. Chicken and gumbo. Real New Orleans flavor. I used to go, the 9 now I'm going, delicious. If you ain't eating wrap noodles, then you shouldn't be eating noodles, because this is the best of the best noodles. Those other noodle companies have nothing on us. We wrap noodles. We the King Kong of noodles.
Welcome back to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. Your man Diamond K in here. And reports are out there. Well, I mean, and it came directly from her mouth. Meg Thee Stallion cannot release music. She's having a label contract dispute.
When I signed, I didn't really know what was in my contract. I was young. I think I was like 20. And I didn't know everything that was in that contract. So when I got with Roc Nation, I got management, real management. I got real lawyers. And they was like, do you know that this is in your contract? And I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. No, I didn't know. So I'm not mad at 1501. I wasn't upset.
And she had a hot debut. I mean, 2019 was the year of Meg Thee Stallion. However, she recently took to Instagram to address why she hasn't put out any new music. She did reveal that her label, 1501, isn't allowing her to drop anything new because she recently asked them to renegotiate a contract that she signed when she was younger.
I'm thinking in my head, oh, well, everybody cool. We all family. It's cool. It's nice. Let me just ask some niggas to renegotiate my contract. Soon as I said I want to renegotiate my contract, everything went left. Like, it just all went bad. It all went left.
So she explained that when she was around 20, she signed to 1501 and wasn't aware of some of the integral points of the contract until Roc Nation pointed it out. Meg wanted to renegotiate, obviously at the recommendation of Roc Nation. 1501 is, who she's directly signed to. She claimed that things went left, and now they're stopping her from releasing anything, which she thinks is greedy. It's unfortunate because this is one of those things. Okay, Meg Thee Stallion is someone who's on Roc Nation as far as management. And if it was not for her affiliation with 1501, Roc Nation would have never signed her or wanted to manage her in the first place. So one is like the chicken and the egg, like which one came first? So many people I see online saying, you need a lawyer look over it, the contract, and she thought they were family or whatever. And let's also understand that in many instances, lawyers look over contracts and they still end up, from the artist's perspective, in a situation that's not that favorable to the artist. Now, there's going to be all these Monday morning quarterbacks online saying that she shouldn't have signed with a label. She didn't need to sign with the label, blah, 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 blah. She did need to sign with the label. Now, could the contract have been in a better favor for her? Possibly. But we also have to keep in mind, people always want to paint the label as the big, bad, evil entity. But I am sure that 1501 put up money for Meg Thee Stallion. I'm talking the building process. The building process. I'm sure that they have money that's still invested in Meg Thee Stallion. There are a lot of female rappers out there. There are a lot of rappers out there, just in general, just male rappers out there. And only a few push through the cracks. And it is the label, the promotion, the marketing, management that pushes these artists through the roof. So 1501 is owed something. Maybe something can be worked out where her contract can be bought out. That's possible. I'm sure that that's something that she's hoping can happen, and maybe she'll eventually sign on directly to Roc Nation. But I think that yes, contracts should be looked over by a lawyer. But in a lot of instances, she could have had this contract looked over, and it still would be something that's unfavorable. Roc Nation, you have to understand, has a label and a management company, and ideally they want to sign her. So it's in their interest for 1501 to not be in the picture. Many times artists come up and they're with a smaller label and they get distribution or something, some type of affiliation with a larger label, and they try to phase out the smaller label. You don't hear Meg Thee Stallion yelling out 1501. I don't think I've ever heard her do that. But 1501 put her in a position, and they are owed something because of what they did for her and for her career. And they obviously do control the flow and release of music. And they also probably want to flex and let Roc Nation know that we are the ones that blew this artist up. So that's what that is. But I hope that everything gets back on track for Meg Thee Stallion. I do enjoy her music. She's really, coming to her own, and she's had she's really having her time right now. And I hate to see something like this just bring an end to her career. So, that it is what it is. Let's take a quick break. You listen to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire, and we'll be back after this.
Do you have a business, product, or event that you need to promote to men and women ages 23 to 44? If so, Radio on Fire can help you do it with one of our promo packages. Our broadcasts reach over 150,000 people per month. Sponsorship for one or all of our radio programs can include live mentions, social media posting, commercials, and more. Visit radioonfire.com/advertise to find out more about a promo package that fits your needs. Rates start as low as $50. If you want to reach men and women ages 23 to 44, log on now, radioonfire.com.
So if you want a real meal, that's delicious. I know about noodles. I grew up on noodles. Now I created my own brand. It's nothing like this. See this? The Icon brand. Chicken and gumbo. Real New Orleans flavor. I used to go, the 99, now I'm going, delicious. If you ain't eating rap noodles, then you shouldn't be eating noodles. because this is the best of the best noodles. Those other noodle companies have nothing on us. We rap noodles. We the King Kong of noodles.
Welcome back. Radio on Fire, your man Diamond K in here. The Diamond K Show, of course, coming at you from Radio on Fire. I'm here. New shows dropping 7 p.m. daily. So it's sad. Sad day for classic rap fans, nostalgic rap fans. I am a fan of the group Public Enemy. And Public Enemy announced, or Chuck D announced, that Flavor Flav has been fired from the group. And contrary to what Chuck D is going to say to you, this is the result of a difference of political opinion. Things are so tribal right now, so divisive, that a rap group is breaking up because they sit on different sides of the political spectrum. Unbelievable. News surfaced that Public Enemy was going to be playing at a Bernie Sanders rally that takes place in LA. Now, Flavor Flav came out with some news, and Flavor Flav said that he was calling Bernie Sanders a fake revolution. And he made statements to Billboard, and he said that Flavor Flav and his team said this: "We have become aware that Flavor's bandmate and Public Enemy co-creator Chuck D has endorsed Bernie Sanders' candidacy for president and plans to perform at an upcoming Sanders rally. While Chuck D is certainly free to express his political views as he sees fit, his voice alone does not speak for Public Enemy. The planned performance will only be Chuck D of Public Enemy. It will not be a performance by Public Enemy. Those who truly know what Public Enemy stands for knows what time it is. There is no Public Enemy without Flavor Flav." So Chuck D obviously was offended by that statement, and I think that had he not publicly done this, I think that it would have quelled some of this. Of course, Public Enemy's team concluded by saying, "Flav has always delivered his authentic self. That authenticity compels him to speak out to ensure voters are not misled, and that Public Enemy's music does not become the soundtrack of a fake revolution." Very strong words from Flavor Flav. And I wish that these two, I hate when personal things come out in the forefront. This is not something that people needed to know about. They should have contained this backstage. If Flavor Flav is not a Bernie Sanders supporter and Chuck D is, then it should have been Chuck D from Public Enemy. Now, I understand he may have, drawn the trademark, drew it up as a stencil, and he may even own it. So what? Okay? At the end of the day, you still are a member of the group. No member is bigger than the group. That's Chuck D or Flavor Flav. Okay? Chuck D can act all he wants. Like, he can just get out there and just perform himself. People do want to see Flavor Flav. I mean, Chuck D is a dope lyricist. Like, his rhymes are crazy. I like them a lot. However, Public Enemy is Flavor Flav and Chuck D and Terminator X. But, so anyway, Bernie Sanders called out by Flavor Flav, which is awkward right there. He did not like the fact that Public Enemy was part or being promoted as part of a quote-unquote fake revolution. And Chuck D responded, of course, saying that he is going to go. So Chuck D said this: "Flavor Flav chooses to dance for his money and not to do benevolent work like this. He has a year to get his act together and get himself straightened out. Chuck D's attorney said from a legal standpoint, Chuck could perform as Public Enemy if he ever wanted to. He is the sole owner of the Public Enemy trademark. He originally drew the logo himself in the mid-'80s, is also the creative visionary and group's primary songwriter, having written Flavor Flav's most memorable lines. Why do we need to know that? Why are they doing this? Like, this is so ironic. It's ironic that Jewish people have led to the firing of several group members. Professor Griff was fired from Public Enemy for different quote-unquote anti-Semitic things that he said, and Flavor Flav is being fired because he does not support the Jewish politician Bernie Sanders, and that's just what it is. Very ironic that the Public Enemy is having this public spat. Public Enemy with a public spat. But they released a statement today announcing that Flavor Flav has been fired. Chuck D is going to perform at the event with Bernie Sanders. This comes after Flav sent a cease and desist letter to Bernie Sanders after Chuck D announced that he was going to be performing at a rally. I wish that Flav understood that performing at this rally will be highly visible, would be good for the group, good for Public Enemy, good for Public Enemy Radio. But Chuck D's statement says that Public Enemy and Public Enemy Radio will be moving forward without Flavor Flav. We thank him for his years of service and wish him well. Statement also added that Public Enemy will continue to perform the planned performance at 6 p.m. at the LA Convention Center with Bernie Sanders. Chuck D also clarified the group's statement on Twitter, stating that Flavor Flav won't do free benefit shows, and he added that the famed hype man would have been up for the Sanders rally if he was getting paid. Why do we need to tear each other down like this? This is supposed to be a pro-black group. This is supposed to be a revolutionary group, but this is not how revolutions are done. I thought the revolution was not supposed to be televised. Like, why are we hearing, why are the guys going back and forth with each other in this public forum? It is shameful, and it is sad, and at the end of the day, these two have spat and had spats before, as brothers do, but they are old enough. They're way older than me. They are old enough to know that this is not the way things are supposed to be handled. This is not the way. But that is where the fellas of Public Enemy are right now. And at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders doesn't win. Does that mean Flavor's back in the group? Only time will tell. Of course, you listen to the WK Show here on Radio on Fire. I do want to end things on a good note. Master P and his son Romeo Miller are trying to give Black America a blueprint. And I think it's something that, OGs like Public Enemy could benefit from. But Master P and Romeo, father and son duo, were on the Breakfast Club recently, and they were talking about ownership and black folks supporting black folks. Now, cultural trust in the black community is at an all-time low. This is something that needs to change. The rap legend, P, and his son Romeo were dropping jewels, trying to educate listeners. So many gems in this interview. The conversation was refreshing. Everybody on the Breakfast Club, nobody was trying to be degrading, and I'm glad for that. There were little bits and pieces where they tried to maybe poke some holes into some of the things as it relates to growing up hip-hop, and Romeo not wanting to be a part of the show and saying that his soul is not for sale. Master P, of course, changing his life for the better, coming from rough Calliope projects in the NO, But growth is important. P has changed his life. You talked about integrity, family. No one is stopping you but you, and achieving the best that they can do, and really supporting each other. And interview, like I said, packed full of gems. Here's something that really stood out. He said, just because, this is Romeo, just because you got talent or because you're in a successful position means that you're going to win. That's not always the case. You know, a lot of times people just take for granted because you can rap, that just automatically means that you're going to blow up. But because you know how to ball, that automatically means that you go into the league. It doesn't mean that. It does not mean that. Family was the theme of the day, and I'm really happy that Master P and Romeo they're giving each other props. They're giving each other their roses when they're here. Master P really took control of the interview and did not let the Breakfast Club have any of that BS that they do on a lot of normal occasions. A lot of topics came up that were really important that people need to see. If you haven't checked out this interview, you definitely need to see it. I'm really happy that P mentioned his disappointment in Kobe's parents and sisters being left out of the public memorial service that took place for Kobe Bryant. That definitely stood out to me like a sore thumb. It was also discussed that black people celebrated Deontay Wilder, the boxer, his recent loss to Tyson Fury, more than they ever celebrated his 40-some victories. So he was talked about more in his loss than having all of those knockouts, 40-some knockouts of other people, but he loses a fight and it's all over everything more than anybody. I mean, I never saw 50 Cent post anything about Deontay Wilder until he got knocked out. And I'm saying 50 Cent and plenty of other people talked about this. But I am rooting for Deontay Wilder to defeat Tyson Fury. And speaking of that fight, Floyd Mayweather is saying that if Floyd Mayweather trains Tyson Fury, then Tyson Fury is going to come out victorious. I don't necessarily doubt that. I mean, I don't. He made an appearance in Manchester, England, and spoke on various topics, including his career. But Mayweather was talking about Deontay Wilder, and he thought that the former WBC champ would win against Tyson Fury in their rematch. If he trains him, he can teach him how to win. He said the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight is scheduled for July 18th, 2020. And this comes, of course, after Wilder exercised that rematch clause. So that's going to be an interesting one. Of course, you've been listening to the Diamond K Show on Radio on Fire. I am here 7 p.m. daily, giving you my thoughts on the news, giving you my version on things. Mainstream media does things one way and may spin things, but I'm giving it to you from an honest perspective. 7 p.m. Radio on Fire, providing the best in breaking news, entertainment, sports, and political stories that matter to you. To get all show archives and exclusive content, become a member today at radioonfire.com/join. This has been Radio on Fire, reporting for the nation. Your man Diamond K. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Now more than ever, it's important where and who you get your news from. Radio on Fire brings information and entertainment to urban America. Whether it's news, sports, entertainment, or relationships, Radio on Fire has the urban experience covered from all angles. Visit radioonfire.com, download the Radio on Fire app, and follow us on social media at Radio on Fire.